Hold up, hold up, hold up. It's that boy Changeofplanz. Don't give a damn. He cooler than a fan. Walking real tall. Some say he's a man.
Man, we got Alex Washington. Man, how you doing, man? You on Change the Plans right now? I want to say I appreciate your time. Where you at? Being a fellow Natchitoches native, I'm from Natchitoches.
Right.
You know, I'm from the back of the square originally. That's where I was born.
Well, you know where I'm from. I'm from Baylor Heights.
Yeah, you told me, man. You told me, man. Speaking of Baylor Heights, for the people who watching, man, what's it like coming up in Baylor Heights, Natchitoches, Louisiana? Being a young black man coming up.
Listen, no other place I'd rather grow up than Natchitoches. I mean, they taught me a lot. Just the people I grew up with, just to being in the neighborhood, understanding folks. You know, we in close contact. Natchitoches, small place. So when I came out of Natchitoches, I already had that drive that Natchitoches put in you. It's something about the water in Natchitoches.
Yeah.
When we come out, we make some noise. So I already had that confidence, just like, you know, I'm learning you. You got that confidence. That's just how we grew up. That's how our parents raised us. And that's what that's what we're doing.
Straight up, man.
Yeah,
Straight up.
yeah.
I want to highlight this as well. You work alongside the current mayor of Natchitoches.
Yeah.
Y'all doing great things, and I got to make sure I highlight this. Before I get off into how you got into the law, being a lawyer and things of that nature, I want to ask you about how is it like working alongside another person from Natchitoches Parish, and y'all doing great things?
Yeah. I can tell you this. I had opened an office down in Dallas back in 2014.
Okay.
We had an office in Dallas. We also had an office in Shreveport. And I wanted Natchitoches to change. I'm just looking for the right candidate that we can put our resources behind. My law firm, the people connections that I've met from Dallas to Shreveport and all over Louisiana. And when Ronnie presented himself and they told me that he wanted to run for mayor, I knew at that moment that was that opportunity that we can have the first black mayor in Natchitoches. But not only that, Bailey Heights, myself, be attached to it, which means one thing to me. Whatever I say, it's gonna happen. So I came back to Natchitoches, worked with Ronnie, and as you can see, everything changing. Front Street changing. We all out there all the time.
Yes, sir.
And it's just, that feeling, bringing people back home. I thank God for allowing me that opportunity, and I appreciate him choosing me to make that happen, for Ronnie to be the first black mayor of Natchitoches, for me to be the first city attorney of Natchitoches. All those first, and we straight out of Bailey Heights.
Straight up,
Small
man. Straight up. Now, we're gonna talk about a high-profile case that you just did with the rapper Hurricane Chris. You guys beat the case.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I want to ask you, what made you get into law, criminal law?
Yeah.
It's all type of different sectors.
Yeah.
Fraud, entertainment. You can do personal injury. What made you specifically choose criminal law to study?
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up in a small town, you run across a lot of things. You find yourself mixed up in things you didn't think you should be mixed up in. The Lord allowed me the opportunity to escape and not being punished. So through going through all of that, and I decided, I want to be a lawyer. And one of the reasons, my stepdad made me watch NBC and news every morning. So he kind of ingrained it in my head. And plus he was a pastor. I think we put them two things together.
Yeah.
And going through my growing up stages, I wanted to be a criminal lawyer. But I wanted people to have a choice, a real choice. No games. A person that come in the courtroom or go in that jailhouse when I'm talking to you, you can ask anybody. When I'm talking to you, I know your story. You can tell me, hey man, I did this, man, I wasn't trying to do this, but I end up killing somebody. No. Have I ever killed somebody? No. But I've been in that situation where things can go wrong. Maybe somebody fired a shot and that bullet didn't hit that person, and nobody meant it to happen, but it missed when I was growing up. But when this kid, it happened to him, he hit somebody. So now he's still a real person. He ain't just a thug. He just made a mistake. So it's my job to make that story come out like he just Joey. But listen, this ain't his whole story.
Yes,
and that's when I talk to the prosecutors, I get them to understand that. You got to understand who this guy is. And if I'm ever talking to a jury, my first job is, let me tell you about Joey. And then I get that story out. So now they know who he is. So before that case even came along, I just had my own story, my life story, my parents, my dad who recently passed. I had all that inside of me. My dad created his own business. I watched him not have much of education. Matter of fact, he didn't even get to the 9th grade. So I represent him in every way. My name Alex Washington Jr., he Alex Washington Sr. So as I walked this trail of life, I was representing him. And then I taught my son come behind me too. So my son, Alex III, he's a lawyer. And I got my other son who just graduated from Xavier. We bringing him along. So we're gonna make this noise from every generation, 20s, 30s, and where I'm at, you're gonna know my dad been here, you're gonna know who Washington is, and you're gonna know that you got a good lawyer no matter what. So before Hurricane, before that case, there was a lot of other cases, man. Yeah. In fact, people don't know I started off as a prosecutor. In 2001, when I first started practicing law, I was a prosecutor. Mm-hmm. And the thing about prosecuting, for me, usually DA have all the facts and the professional witnesses, which are all the police officers. I've been winning with my own resources, so you can only imagine how it was with all the resources. I couldn't lose. Mm-hmm. So, and that was enough. I got my training. I kept winning all these cases, but I'm winning these cases, but on the other side, that's us on the other side, mm-hmm. right? So that's why if it's a violent offense and the person did something, I'd much rather take those cases. But just the regular day-to-day cases as a prosecutor, I couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. So I said it's time for me to go on the defensive side. I got the experience. I learned what y'all taught me. Now I'm finna show y'all what to do with it. So that's when I switched the game.
Straight up, man. Wow.